Hello and welcome to another episode of From the Dog's Mouth. This time we are joined by Miss Breanna Richardson of the Lady Bulldogs. And Miss Breanna, do you have anything that you want to say to Bulldog Nation, the ones who are tuned in right now?
Hey y'all. Hope I can give you a good show today. And thanks for tuning in.
Oh, we have faith in you. All right, so Ken, why you looking like this, Ken? Why you cheesing from ear to ear?
Right. Look
Can
at
I always be cheesing from ear to ear?
Now, I know why you cheesing from ear to ear.
You on mute, Ken.
Ken, take yourself off mute.
I'm off mute now.
Okay.
I'm grinning from ear to ear because that's what I do, man.
I tell you, he always be grinning from ear to ear.
Cap, what you got to drink on tonight?
It's coming. I'm gonna start off just with a shot, just to get my mind right. Then the Old Faithful. You already know how I go.
Right.
Bro, I got you beat over here. I got some strained apple juice.
Okay.
He said, okay.
Okay, let me stop coughing before y'all start thinking I got coronavirus.
Yeah, let me wipe my screen down with some
Lysol.
Right.
All right, so Ken, you got anything that you want to say before we get into this episode, man?
That was a joke, Ken, because you know I had surgery today. So
waka waka waka. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm just glad to be here, man. I was in the middle of a movie and I was like, dude, I can't miss this episode. So let me get up and get on this episode, and I'm excited that I'm here. And the only thing I gotta say is I'm always prepared. I already know I'm always prepared.
Bro, I know your cousin is Victoria, but I think I'm the biggest women's basketball fan on this show.
Huh?
Man, that's straight up cap. Man, you know, wait.
We're not gonna start that conversation on how long I've been following women's basketball.
Okay, so y'all already know. I don't know how many people know this, but I think I've said it before, but I used to cover women's basketball for the Reflector. So I was up in there with Coach Fannin, interviewing Coach Fannin, and this is back way before Breanna. Breanna. This is way before y'all was good and stuff like that, before Coach Schaefer showed up. This is back when it was like 20 people at the game, and you know, you could go out there on the court and play 21 and nobody would really care. Coach Fannin was like, bring as many people to the game as you want to. It ain't like nobody come. Like, don't even try and charge nobody. And I was like, whew. So, all right. So, not Ken. Derek, you got anything that you want to say before we get into
I'm going to say this. Do any of y'all know who Meadow Overstreet is?
Yeah. I do.
Mm-hmm.
White chocolate.
I've been a fan of Mississippi State women's basketball for a long, long time, ever since I was a little kid. So I've been following them.
Okay, with that being said, you ready to start the show?
Let's go.
You ready to start the show? Here we go.
You done turned into the drunk uncle of the show, man. I swear to God. So, all right, Breanna. So, recruitment to Mississippi State. Who all recruited you, and what set Mississippi State apart from everybody else?
It was a lot. I'm not gonna lie to you. Off the top of my head, I remember Georgia, Auburn, USF, UCF, Clemson. It was a lot of mid-majors for sure, so I ain't even gonna be able to tell you like all those. There's somebody else I'm missing that's in the SEC too, but for me it was mainly like SEC and ACC for the most part. And I ain't gonna lie to y'all some real Mississippi State fans, because I had never heard Mississippi State before Big Schaefer called my phone. I'm not even gonna lie. So
wow.
I remember the first time he called. I think we were on the way back from a tournament, and so like he, hey, this is Big Schaefer from Mississippi State. I literally like just handed the phone to my dad in the front seat. Was like, here you go. I didn't know who it was, and I didn't want to be.
You thought it was a swag school somewhere, huh?
Hey.
I heard of Ole Miss, which is crazy, but I heard of Ole Miss, but I never heard of Mississippi State. So like, my dad talked to him the first time, and I was like, look, do your thing, because at that point it was just another phone call, so it was just like, okay, next, saying with my dad, but I don't know. I'm trying to figure out who really like. It was probably like Coach Harris and Coach Aqua. Is what really like, got
So
me.
was the other SC school? It wouldn't happen to be those Rebels at Ole Miss, would it?
Nah.
Oh, good.
Me, but I just didn't. I ain't like them like that. And it was before, I found out the whole rivalry and all that type of stuff.
Good. Cheers to you.
We're glad you weren't poisoned.
Okay. So, like I say, you from Georgia, and kind of what made you go to Mississippi State rather than, staying a little bit closer to home? I mean, Starkville, Mississippi is Starkville, Mississippi, and I'm thinking like, UCF, USF, UGA. What made you come into the middle of nowhere, Boondocks, Mississippi, to play women's basketball?
To be honest, it literally was probably coaching staff and then the players once I got down there. And state isn't that bad once you like get on campus. So, it wasn't that bad. But like on the way down, I was definitely looking like, yeah.
Where we going?
Nowhere, like, yeah, for sure. But I think just once you get on campus and it's that whole family atmosphere and everything like that, and like I clicked with the teammates, off top. And so for me, what's crazy was like I only took unofficial in the summer, and like I was ready to commit then, but like my mom hadn't came down yet, so I was like, nah, Mom Duke's got to see first, and then I went ahead and committed. I do regret though not taking my other visits, because I mean like. You just gotta see what's out there. But I mean, like deep down, of course, I still knew where I wanted to go, but I still think I should have took my other visit for sure, just to see like what it really is about everywhere else.
See, Mississippi State has the appeal. I'm not a graduate of Mississippi State, but it has always had that appeal for me. So that's what gets you. Yes, Starkville is a small town. It's not much there, but once you get there and get around that campus, you fall in love with the maroon and white. So I'm guessing that's what happened to you.
Yeah, for the most part, that is.
I'm looking that I'm sharing the podcast, ladies and gentlemen. So don't pay me no mind. I'm looking down.
A lot of times when y'all see us looking down and stuff like that, we doing something involved in sharing the podcast, or else we talking to each other. So you were talking about the fact that a lot of the teammates are the reason why you came. So let me ask you this: out of all the teammates that you had, which one was your favorite? Or if you had to choose one.
Like ride or die type deal?
Oh yeah, definitely.
I mean, at this point, because I mean, we still talking about like currently it's gonna be Victoria, because that's my dog right there. Like we best friends, so. But
yeah, I follow you on Instagram.
Year, then I probably would have gave you somebody else, but you said all time, so it's gonna be Tori.
Okay, so you said freshman year would have been somebody different?
Yeah, because Tori wasn't there. Okay, I gotta think about the team. Hold on. My freshman year, favorite teammate. It's either gonna be Kendra Grant or it's gonna be Katia May. Probably. My freshman year. Sophomore year, I didn't even like Tori then, so it wasn't gonna be Tori. Sophomore year, who graduated? Savannah, Tara. Sophomore year. Ooh. It might have been JJ, because she was goofy. And then
ain't that your homegirl Kean?
Oh, JJ, yes, absolutely. Not my homegirl, but that's my dog, yeah.
Junior year, it's probably between Katera and Tori, and then senior probably Tori. That was my road dog right there.
Okay, so while I was kind of researching, looking up your background and stuff like that, I found out that apparently you were a fairly decent softball player.
More than fairly decent, but
Uh-oh.
I'm saying.
Hey, set them straight.
Honestly, softball was my first sport. So, I mean, I played softball, I think, ever since I was 6 or 7. So that was my first sport. And I don't think I started playing basketball until I was like 10 or 11, which was like Boys and Girls Club type deal. So I was pretty good at softball. And that's another reason why he got me to Starkville, because, I can say it. He lied. He said I was going to be able to play both sports. And so, like, no other coach had already said that, what I'm saying? Like, I was going to play both sports. And he had already talked to, I think it was Coach Van at the time. I don't know if she's still down there.
She's gone.
So I talked to her, met her even when I came on visit and everything like that. And so like he sold me off that idea too. So I was thinking I was gonna play both sports. And no other school, like I said, no other school, they was like, maybe, but it was no guarantee. But he kind of like told me, like, solidified, like, you want to play 2 sports, like, you can do it. And so that was my main thing. And then, I think my freshman year, when it kind of like came around the time we had lost, and I was looking at softball, and I was like, okay, I was iffy, I'm like still collegiate, and I was like, I hadn't touched the ball or bat, what I'm saying, a couple months, so I was still a little iffy with it. But then when I kind of like brought it to him, he was just like, oh, I don't think, that's really what you want to do. This is your only time you get a chance to have a break. So blah, blah, blah. And that didn't happen. So
basically gave you that Kawhi Leonard laugh.
Yeah. Finesse me. Take a little finesse. It's all right. You live and you learn.
I mean, they tell you whatever it take you to get you on campus. I thought I was going to be able to take Russian at Mississippi State. They lied. But, whatever. It is what it is. So Derek say you got a question.
Yeah. So, did that affect your relationship with Coach Vic, being that he told you that you could, and then no, you can't? Most players, if they have a breach of trust like that, that may make the player want to leave. How did that affect your relationship with Coach Vic?
Y'all trying to get me in trouble.
Well, no, you can give a.
That's why we call it from the dog's mouth.
Yes, AJ.
I ain't gonna lie, I feel some type of way for sure, because to me, like in my head, like that's what I had my mindset on. Like I'm gonna play basketball, and then I'm gonna go in the summer, play softball, that type of deal. So like I was hurt. I wasn't like butt hurt, but I took it on the chin, you know what I'm saying? Because at the same time, I still was looking at it like, okay, when he did say like this would be your only break, because they stayed, I think, just like all the way up until like June or something. So like that May that we normally get, I wasn't gonna be able to get. So like after basketball season, my freshman year, I'm tired. It made me second guess, but at the same time, I still was like, I still could have played. So it's always been in the back of my head. But like he proposed, I think after my senior year, he was like, yeah, you still have like a year. Apparently, like you have like almost like total 5 years eligibility. So like I could have played my last year. Like if I stayed an additional year after my 2017 year, I could have played softball then. But at the same time, I still had WBA and everything like that. So it's like, I can't play softball now. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's too late for that. So, and I've been playing for 4 years. So it's like, I'm going to be trash. Like, what? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not going to do that. So, hey.
All right. So, Kian, did you have a question?
Yeah. It's kind of just like because I've been to a few games, Mississippi State games. Like, you, compared to other softball players, though, you're like, head and shoulders above them. Like when you, I'm just thinking, you're like, yeah, I was a great softball player, and I'm like, so what positions did you play, or which one position was that position?
Oh, I was a left fielder. I don't do left field. I was a left fielder because I got a. If y'all didn't peep a couple games, throwing the ball. I got a cannon on me, so that was my thing, and I could hit me some bombs. So I could hit you some home runs, and then I could throw some people out. You know what I'm saying? But
so you robbed some home runs?
Yeah.
That's like the fence is like shorter than me, and I'm real short. So you had to be able to just stand up like, yeah, I got you, cub.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, we're very passionate about softball. At some point, we need to get a softball player on here. But I was thinking to myself, I was like, well, she has the physique of a really good softball player. And I'm pretty sure that you got the athleticism. It could have worked. I believe that it would have worked. So we're talking about freshman season. After the freshman season, they didn't let you play softball. So I was about to ask about the freshman season. You were all SEC freshman, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So the question that I had was, you were all SEC freshman, and then kind of in the sophomore year, you saw a reduction of minutes. So, or not minutes, but you didn't start so many games or whatnot. So kind of, what was that like, kind of going through that period of your career at State?
My sophomore year, that was probably like my hardest year. Because I came off from that freshman high, you know what I'm saying? Like being at that level. So to me, the main thing, I'm not gonna lie, it was an understanding, like it didn't make sense, but I mean,
take your time, sweetie. Take your time.
Let them use you. Let them use you.
Hey, just, people like certain people, you know what I'm saying? Just gotta go with the flow. But Bree almost left. I ain't gonna lie to you, So, I mean, but at the end of the day, if I would have left, we wouldn't have had a couple rings, you know what I'm saying? I wouldn't have no rings. So, I mean, it's all about adversity, but if it was probably like during these days and times, I for sure would have left because everybody leaves left and right. So,
yeah, with the you would have been in the transfer portal because I was looking at that. I was like, she was but see, the thing is that I feel like, and this is no shade to Vic, but I felt as though that happened with a lot of players where it was like you had these people who were starters and they were doing really good when he first got there, and people who were leftovers from Coach Fannin, and it was like he had certain people that he was just gonna have in come, hell or high water. So I mean, I kind of sort of saw that also. Now I looked at the junior year, and it looked like you got reduced a little bit more right up to the point where the tournament came. Then didn't you hit like the go-ahead shot against Michigan State?
Yeah.
Okay. So speaking of which, that game was kind of wild because they were supposed to go to Michigan State, but then they ended up at Mississippi State. So what was that like? Because I'm pretty sure that it was kind of tense.
I mean, my junior year, for real, we go straight to the game. Leading up, because I think that was our second year in the tournament. So us, having the chance to host in general, that was just our little top thing, was just trying to be able to host. And then I guess whatever happened at Michigan State, I don't know if they were supposed to have like a concert or something happened with the venue, whatever. But then it got switched to us, and then like they were feeling some type of way, but it's like that ain't our fault. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, our school, like y'all gotta handle it. Ain't got nothing to do with that. So I remember it was a couple of like shady things that was said in the media. I can't remember if it was from the coach or whatever, but like all that stuff got back to us. So like it was a lot riding on that game just in general, just from like animosity from building up and stuff being said in the media. And then I'm gonna say the hyper players too, because it was Aerial Powers. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Aerial Powers. So she was their star player, so it was less like, focusing on her, get the game plan and everything like that. But I think we executed for the most part. And then we got down to that, I think it was fourth quarter. Them last like 3 minutes was some serious. But I'm trying to remember, because I don't remember like the entire series. I just remember it was like, I remember they were in a zone because I believe they were in foul trouble. And so I remember being on 3-point line. I think we were running like 13 or something like that. And so like instead of me going to set the screen, I just popped out, and then like they weren't guarding, so I just shot it. Like, look, it is what it is. And it went in. So I mean,
right.
The rest is history. But then I remember I actually think I messed up after that, because I made that three. I think I came down. I think I found somebody on 3-point line. So I was scared. I was scared. But I mean, I think she ended up missing like 2 free throws, and then the rest was history. But that was a pretty good game though. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, they had them violins out. Like, we had to go to Mississippi State. Now, like, you just mad because tonight you suckers got served.
Yeah.
All right, Ken, what's up?
Man, I like to look at the feed, right? The questions. So, okay. Breanna, somebody's calling you out, okay?
All right.
They said she needs to go and speak her truth. I heard her on IG Live with Tori a while back. She wasn't holding back.
It's different, dog. This Facebook, for all I know, this joint stay up. It's going 4 hours. If you wasn't on, you wasn't on.
So you missed it.
Yeah, you missed it. But I mean, but I ain't gonna lie, I even got in trouble from that little IG live, because I'm not in trouble, but I remember when we seen Coach Chair, she said something about it. So I was like, how you even? And I was like, you know what? So let the internet be telling, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, all the time.
I ain't gonna give y'all all the tea like I did on Instagram. Y'all can't get all that tea.
I'm like, I need to go somewhere and find it. Okay, so you hit the shot against Michigan State. They whine and stuff like that. They got the violins out and stuff. And then y'all consolation prize is that y'all get to face off against the UCONN Huskies. And I kind of don't want to talk about it, but I do want to talk about it.
I have no problem.
Okay, so what was that like to be in? I imagine that they had to be like a literal nightmare, because I don't know what happened. Somebody cousin, I ain't gonna say, you know what, I'm gonna leave that alone. I'm not gonna do it.
Hey, look, no, AJ, I got help now, dog. I got help tonight while you talking about somebody cousin. I got help.
Who your help supposed to be? Your help better come from the Lord.
That's her dog. That's her dog.
You better look to the hill from which cometh your help.
Anyway, let her answer the question.
Okay, all right. So what was that? What was that like being a part of that gang? That was just traumatic.
Yeah, I mean, I think we were kind of doomed from the beginning, because I mean, you were in UConn, like we were in Connecticut, we were like down the street from wherever they play, so like the entire stadium was already filled with UConn folks. Then, you know, speaking of, they started line up with Breanna Stewart, Mariah Jefferson, Morgan Tuck. I don't even know the other two people because they probably weren't even that important, but they was important. So I mean, for us, I'm not even gonna lie, the intimidation factor was there. I don't think it should have been, but at the end of the day, it was. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, we were beat from the jump. I mean, like I said, it was really like folks were just starstruck. So I mean, it is what it is. Right. But I mean, like, I'm not gonna. What I do remember though, we was down by like 20 something in the first quarter, and then by the time we got to halftime, I think we just told ourselves like, look, y'all, just don't let them get 100. That was us. Like, just don't let them get 100, and we will meet our goal. And then I remember at halftime too, the freaking fire alarm went off. And y'all don't understand. We was in the locker room praying it was actual fire, like, so we could go home. Like, please for it to be a real fire. Because I remember Coach came in there, he pulled a chair out, he just sat in front of us. It was just quiet because nobody said nothing. It was just like, then the fire alarm went off. So it was like, please let this be real. And he said, he was like, I really hope it's a fire drill so we can pack all our stuff up and just get up and leave. And he said, so won't nobody know. And we was praying, we was looking like, please, is it real? Is it real? It wasn't real. But still, like, I've never lost that bad in my entire life. Like, ever. Like, ever. And I think we probably broke a record for how bad that game was. But I mean, we had vengeance the next year, so that's all that matters. But at the end of the day, that year trying to come home and stuff, like, no, that's all everybody talked about. I'm like, look, bro, you saw the game. I don't listen what you want me to say. Like, we lost.
Man. So enough of that trauma. So let's go into your, I think it's senior season. All right. So, you know, let's see. The South Carolina battles. What's it like being a part of that? Because at that moment in time, that was like an extremely lopsided rivalry. So kind of like for you all, like what was some of the, I guess, the strategies that y'all came up with? Like, was they in y'all head kind of like the way that South Carolina was, or was it just a real bad matchup? Or, you know, if you had to give your opinion on the whole South Carolina deal.
I mean, it turned into a whole rivalry, I'll say. But I mean, I feel like the environment in those games are like unmatched, just because it's like so much right on the line. And like typically with us, it's a whiteout or it's a blackout, or for them, like, so, you know, it's such a fan involved game. But I don't know. I feel like we always at the short end of the stick. Like, I think we played them 3 times my senior year. Our first game, it was actually there. We were up by 12, blew the lead. They ended up coming back, and then like it was. I ended up getting the rebound with like 2 or 4 seconds left in the game. I think they called a jump ball on that one, and it's like we always seem to get cheated. And one time,
say that.
Yeah, you go ahead, say it.
So I mean, it just becomes frustrating at that time. And so like, okay, boom, that was the first time. The SEC tournament, I believe we was up again by like 10, 12, maybe 15 going to the fourth quarter, and it was like we was going flat, like couldn't score a bucket, like nothing. We was throwing up just bricks in the ocean, like nothing was falling. They come back, win the game. That's SEC, just for the title, you know what I'm saying? And then I think national championship game, we was on E. So you know what? I'm just not even. We was on E for the. That's all I got.
Right.
It's just like still it's just like 3 times in a row. So we just thought national championship, like this one that matters the most. But we actually got out there. Yeah, we had that lift in the tank.
Yeah, because I mean, from my observation, it seemed like every time that y'all played South Carolina, like it got worse and worse and worse. Like the margin got bigger and bigger. Because I was like, oh yeah, we can beat UConn. All we gotta do is play South Carolina. We're playing at a super duper high level at this moment in time. It'll be fine. And it wasn't fine at all. But you know, that type of stuff happens sometimes.
Right.
So you know what we got to ask about? If we go talk about your senior year, we got to talk about the shot. Now, of course, everybody's seen the shot, but I want you to walk us through it from your perspective, because that was a game. What was that? Who was the girl? The girl that flopped and acted like Dominic Dillingham.
Act like she was dying, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
Because like the refs, I had never seen anything like that in my life. It was like, felt like 1 or 2 possessions that already passed. And then
it
back and
that's like it shouldn't have happened. So
yeah,
like you're just trying at this point to help them win. Because I think we were about like 4 at that point. So it don't, you know what I'm saying? It's just like it's always something that like that's never in our favor. So we always had the short end of the stick, you know what I'm saying? So it's always nothing was going our way no matter what it seemed like. So it was always us against everybody. Everybody. But the Morgan shot. Because I'm trying to remember the huddle. I remember I think we were just simply supposed to run like one. She's supposed to come off on ball screen for me and just do her do. But I remember like we couldn't get the ball into her. I was in volleyball. I remember I don't know if they doubled her off the inbound just so she couldn't get the catch, but I remember ended up giving it to Dom. I was scared as hell giving it to Dom, but she was the only person open. I want to take it off 5 second count. So get the ball to Dom. Dom dribbles it up the court or whatever. And like Dom's like holding it because she's trying to give it to Morgan to get her open. But I'm like standing there like, you could just give me the ball. I can get it to Morgan. I mean, you know what I'm saying? But I'm like, it is what it is. So like Morgan's finally able to get open, get the ball from her. And then it's like in that moment, it's like, okay. Because by the time I think it's like less than 2 seconds left. So it's just like, no, go ahead, Mo, do your thing. So I mean, I remember she said that the first time she tried to drive and then she got a block by Gabby. So she said this time she was gonna do a pull up. So I mean, for her to just actually, pull up and do it, you seen it, you like, nah, that ain't, you like, oh, that's really good. But like, as I'm like going to rebound just in case, I'm like, and when it actually went in, you just like, you running and then you looking, because I remember I looked at Morgan, I'm like, dang, like, then you look back, I'm like, that joint like really just went in, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
this is it. So it was just like, it hits you, but it doesn't hit you at the same time because like, you just in shock. So like that whole night, it was just, I can't say it was a blur, but like it was just so much going on that like I don't think it really like set in until I went to bed, which was like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. Which is why I said by the time we got to South Carolina, it was because we needed an extra day. But I mean, like by the time it hit me, when I finally laid down, it's just like wow, you know what I'm saying? So it's crazy. We made history.
So the actual play, like, is the play, hey, Morgan, do something, or was it a play call and it just didn't work, or where's the actual play call then?
It was one, so it was like simple like high-low screen. So like Morgan would have got the ball, whichever side she would have started on, like near half court. I'd have been setting the ball screen probably like right at the top of the key, right at the 3-point line. Just a simple come off on ball and do whatever. But we never got that far.
Yeah, because I was there at that game, and when Dominique got the ball, I started screaming like, "What? No!" It's actually a video. I took the video. It's somewhere. It'll come up every year during the same time that I posted on Facebook. Mm-hmm. But as soon as she got it, I started screaming like, "What are we doing?"
Yeah, wasn't supposed to go to her. It was, that's why I was just like, all right, Mo, come get it, Mo. So.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, for me personally, watching the game, considering what had happened the year before, I ain't gonna lie. My amount of faith in us winning that game was not where it should have been. But once the game's
most hope for us at that time, because we had a vengeance, dog. We had a vengeance. That's all we heard that entire year, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, even in the weight room, it was like, I think Coach Harvey put on the board like 60 points or 66, however much we lost by, that was on the weight room board, like, every single day. Like, said something about it every single day. Coach Schaefer didn't let that, we didn't hear the end of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, So then when we finally got to that point, we saw him in our bracket. We was like, nah, this redemption right here. So no. Even if we were, it wasn't gonna be like no like babies. You know what I'm saying? Like no, nah.
Hey, y'all went out there and did that though. I tell you what. I won an SP the whole 9. So the next question I have is like, how do y'all kind of reconcile? On one hand, you have the most famous play in women's basketball history, one of the best upsets, but then you didn't get the national championship. So how do you kind of negotiate that?
I mean, to be honest, after the tournament, that's how we felt though. You know what I'm saying? Like we knocked off the, the holy giant, everything like that. But at the end of the day, like we didn't get that ring. You know what I'm saying? We lost to South Carolina at that. So like, that's to me, that's what hurt the most. It's like, even if it had been somebody else, it probably wouldn't hurt that bad. But the fact that it was South Carolina, it was the 3rd time in the same year, like, to be honest, that's what hurt me the most. Because it's like, really, y'all, like, we lost South Carolina for the 3rd time. But, like, and it's, like, on the biggest stage. So, to me, it's just, like, that hurt for sure. But, everybody's silver lining was like, oh, but y'all knocked off UConn. It's like, yeah, but we ain't got no national championship ring. Like, that's not understand. Like, that was the tipping. That would have been the icing on the cake. Like, because we had beat everybody that we weren't supposed to beat. So it's like that was the final like knockoff, and it's like we didn't get that.
That was pretty much the whole tournament, right?
Yeah,
we weren't supposed to beat anybody, were we?
Right. Apparently, we was just sorry, we not play basketball.
Right.
So, hey.
Was that the season where I think that he benched? Who was it? Was that the year where he benched Tory and
me and
that was everybody.
Yeah, in the first and the second round.
He benched everybody.
Yeah, that was that year.
Because I was thinking to myself, and I personally feel as though that was the reason why y'all was able to make that run. Because up to that point, I had always said that they play really well and stuff like that, but I was like, they are not playing at a very high level right now. I was like, going into the tournament, they need some type of spark, because I was like, man, I don't even know, because I thought that y'all was gonna get to was that the y'all played Washington?
Mm-hmm.
I thought that y'all
UConn and South Carolina.
Yeah, I thought that Washington was gonna be the end of the road, but then again, it turned out y'all handled Washington really good, and then after y'all beat Washington, I was kind of like, oh, okay. I was like, and then
you were too skeptical for me, dog.
Hey, look. But see, the thing is, speaking of which, let's go. Well, the next year you weren't there, but then we had the Notre Dame incident.
Mm-hmm.
And as a former player, when you were watching it, like, what was your reaction to that? Because I just blankly looked at my TV for like 30 minutes. Like I couldn't deal.
I was hurt for him. Basically, just like I said, we always get short in the stick to me, because like it shouldn't even came down to that play. Like when Morgan got fouled trying to throw the outlet pass to Tory, like she literally got trucked. Like we're not playing football. So it just like certain situations like that, like where shit is blatant stuff that just doesn't get called for us, it just literally doesn't make any sense. So, and then for the play leading up to, Enrique doing her thing, take
your time.
I'm not even gonna call folks out, but somebody shouldn't even been guarding somebody, and it wouldn't even been that result. But hey, I don't play, and then we probably should have been in the zone too, or we should have just fouled since they inbounded the ball and it wouldn't have happened. But that's not somebody's repertoire, so what it is. But I was hurt for him just because that was my youngin. So it was Tory, Mo, Blair, all them. So I felt bad for them, just because, like I said, it's back to back, and like literally in that locker room, we lost. They literally told us like, we finna come back here, like we swear to God, like we coming back and we gonna win. And it's like they got right there, and it's like, and like 2 years in a row, dog. Like it's crazy.
Somebody on the comments is asking, who was the guy that said Mo didn't get fouled? Somebody on this podcast.
Oh, you tired me? You tired me?
I'm talking. This is from the comments. This is from the comments.
I said it. F it. I said it. Now what? Okay. What, I'm supposed to back down? So
she got clothesline.
I felt like she flopped a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
I think Morgan will flop, but in that situation, like they showed replay like 10 times. What you like the crossed up? Like I don't understand. She could have died. What you mean?
She could have died. Oh dang!
Like, I don't understand how. And like they fouled intentionally because they looked up. Tori was down there wide open, so it's like you had to foul in that situation. So it's like, how do you not call that? Like I don't. But I mean, if you think she got fouled, I mean, maybe you was on the ref side. Hey.
Nah, I mean, the officiating always has been kind of iffy for Mississippi State because every time we played against South Carolina, Asia Wilson was doing entirely too much, and they never called anything against them. But if Tiara breathed on somebody wrong, they called foul, and I felt as though that a lot of times they called fouls on her just because she was, bigger than everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
But that is what it is. So I don't disagree that we got screwed around. But my thing with the with that game against Notre Dame is that I felt as though that there was a slight element of choking going on. But that is what it is. I know.
Just say it, man.
I agree because we were up at least I think about like 10 or something, which is our repertoire because we every year, like especially my senior year, we'll be up at least 15 going into half, and then we come out third quarter on the what the hell happened. Oh, sorry.
Take your time, baby. You get it.
I don't know what happened, but we literally every single time. So I mean, it just.
I felt as though that because I used to watch the games and. I would always say that the thing is that we would get up and then they let people back into the game. And I was like, if the team had a killer instinct, everybody would be like, it's fine. They let the people back into the game, but they didn't lose. And I was like, well, that's one of those things. It's cool now, but there's going to come a situation when they go try and go to the well and it ain't going to be there. And that's exactly what ended up happening.
Right.
Because I was like, if you're up by 10, the other team hit 3 3-pointers, and it's a 1-point game all of a sudden. If we go stagnant, it is what it is. I think that we go get back there, but I'm getting ahead of myself a little bit. So, we got some questions. So, who is the toughest player that you ever had to guard while you was at Mississippi State from another team?
Hold on. Sorry, you scared me, boy. Sorry, my mom just scared me. You said who's the toughest player I've ever had to guard?
Yes.
Yeah, probably Stewie. Hold on, what you want? Probably Stewie for sure. Just because, like I'm only 6 foot, 6'1" with shoes. Stewie's like good 6'4", pushing 6'5", if we being honest. She got them long, lanky arms like KD. She the female KD. So to me, it was just like, and then in that game, like I said, everybody was scared as hell. So we ain't had no help side. It wasn't nobody like everybody was like, you on the island, you by yourself. So it was just like she either gonna go, drive baseline or she gonna pull up for a jumper, and it's just like, I mean, I think I held my own a little bit, but I mean, like.
So during that time, that was uncharted territory for us too.
Yeah.
And so that helped y'all learn from it and grow and push out to the finals. Y'all, I know that that hunger to get to them again, was that was it, or did we learn? Did you all learn from those experiences? Because like I said, like right now I'm coaching football. I changed to another school, and the culture of winning is not there. And so we had a culture of being decent.
Mm-hmm.
But then, and so when you guys, that year, somebody just snuck in the back.
Yeah, I saw.
Yeah.
And she was ducking though. But like I was saying, y'all trying to change the culture.
Yeah.
So y'all were responsible for that culture change. And so my question is, like, was the Connecticut game solely responsible for that, getting y'all to the finals, or did y'all actually learn some things from that experience?
I'm gonna say both, because I think like going from my junior year, my sophomore to my junior year, we were on the brink of like establishing like, hey, like we like that, you know what I'm saying? So I'm not even gonna lie, I honestly think the UConn game kind of like shook us up a little bit because it's like we had got that far, and it's not saying like we just high, but because like I don't think we were ever cocky. Like I feel like we've always been an underdog in all situations. But I think that UConn game kind of told us like we not there yet.
Right.
Like, like we thought we was there, but like nah, G, they on a whole different level. So like, I feel like that game is what took us to like in that summer. It was like, okay, like we got a whole nother level we got to get to if we think we finna be like Final Four, national championship type deal. So like I said, playing in that game, I think we definitely learned about ourselves, but it also exposed us to be like, hey, yeah, y'all gonna have to tap into another level. And I think that's what it did. And after that, like that true winning culture was there because it's like we know what it takes to get here, you know what I'm saying, and it's established. Now the babies that's there now, I don't know. We're gonna wish them luck, but I don't, hey, I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
Oh, AJ, do we have that question in there somewhere? Yeah.
What question?
We got to talk about that.
What question?
She said the people that's there now.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wait, man, give me some time. I gotta get to these things, okay?
Oh, you weren't paying attention. You was over there, I don't know, doing what?
I was looking at the message that you sent. Stop playing with me.
Then.
Stop playing with me, man.
Go ahead, bro.
Okay, so Stewie, toughest opponent that you went up against, but what about the toughest one within the SEC that you faced?
I mean, it's probably gonna be Asia, just because like the same type of deal, and it's the fact that the fact that like they had Atlanta coaches at the same time, so it was like Twin Tower type deal. You know what I'm saying? So I couldn't get too much help from Tierra or Chimay, like that type of deal, and so I honestly think I guarded her pretty good for the most part, but at the same time, she still got 2 or 3 inches on me. You know what I'm saying? And she get a little help here and there from the refs. So, like I said, I'm going to give her respect for sure. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to give her respect for sure. She's a good player. But at the same time, like, if I give me like 6'2", 6'3", you know what I'm saying? Probably been a little bit different. But hey, I can't control it.
It's so refreshing to hear somebody actually say, yeah, them refs gave them something. It's refreshing to hear a player actually admit that.
No, it is.
Usually they so politically correct. All right, so
right.
What about outside of South Carolina? Who was a team that you hated to see coming?
Not hated to see, but I say hated to play with Mizzou. I hated Mizzou. Everybody.
Sophie Cunningham.
That's because they was dirty. So like, I almost got to fight Sophie. Yeah, I almost got to fight Sophie at state. Yeah, because I remember. And it's just because they were dirty. That's really all it was. And they swear like they do nothing wrong, but it's like y'all play dirty. Like we expect y'all to be dirty. But I remember the play. It was like they got either like she threw the ball out of bounds or something like that, but she was out of bounds. And so like I went and I grabbed the ball from her, and she like tried to snatch it back, and I was just like, no, move. And like she tried to push me or something. The ref came in. I was just like, I mean, I ain't tripping, but I mean, that's what you want to do. I'm ready. But
let's go. Yeah.
Then she had that super Karen look about herself too. So
yeah.
I want to speak to the refs.
Right.
Where's your manager, ref?
Right. So okay. So last question, as far as like kind of the superlatives. What's the toughest place to play in the SEC? I know you're gonna say SC. So let's say not SC.
Okay.
They were smashing everywhere else, dog.
Hold on.
What about on Rocky Top?
It's to me, and no district to Tennessee, but I don't feel like it was that tough. I just feel like it was the fact of like the lineage of like who they were, but it wasn't like they were. I'm not gonna, because it's gonna sound like I'm downgrading them like they weren't that hard to play, because like it took us forever to finally beat them. But it's like once we did beat them, it's like kind of normal. But
they ain't scare y'all no more.
No, you know what I'm saying? Like the intimidation factor wasn't there at Tennessee. So I think like toughest place, I'm gonna actually give it to Kentucky or probably UGA, because we always played terrible there. Like especially UGA, we played at God awful. Every time I came home, I was like, you know what? Look, y'all might as well just go home, because every time, like I don't know what it is at UGA, but we trash.
Okay, so Ken, you had anything you want to ask, or I'm gonna head into the?
I don't know. It's a great. I mean, it's good that you asked me that, because she brought up going home. She probably didn't know him, but she apparently she goes to church with my brother. Say what?
You go to Springfield?
Springfield. Field, yeah, that's okay. So I don't, yeah. He like works with the choir or something. A little skinny little dude up there directing choir stuff like that. Now you probably don't. I'll say you probably don't. He was like,
I ain't gonna lie to you, so you know, I pop in.
He was like, but he say, he was like, man, Breanna. He said, I know her. He say, dude, that girl go to my church, man. I promise you, she does. And then I think you came back one Sunday and they recognized you, and so he called me. He was like, dude, I told you that girl go to my church. So, but that was pretty interesting, and I was like, yeah, that's great. I didn't know how to respond, but it was still exciting.
Like, okay,
Yeah, it was still exciting. I was like, okay, yay. But anyway, AJ brought up going home. It just made me think of that. Yeah. All right, AJ, carry on.
All right. So, you got drafted into the WNBA. Didn't quite. Yeah. Oh, man, I'm tripping.
I should have, but I mean that's for another day, but I mean, hey, you know,
I mean, to be honest with you,
wait, no,
you've been keeping it real the whole interview. I mean, why stop here? This is like Forrest Gump. You ran this far, you might well run a little further.
I think, I mean, this is my personal opinion. I think she was hindered in college, which hindered her getting drafted. Ooh. Look, I done touched something. Somebody shout glory. Shout glory.
Man, you just.
But I mean, be honest with you, I used to say, okay, and of course, everybody knows me. Like this in this podcast, Breanna, all of us, we speak our minds. You know, we don't try to bite our tongues or anything. But I used to always say, why is Breanna not in the game? I used to say that all the time. And so it's like, you know, and I really feel like that, you know, was a factor in you not actually getting drafted.
For sure. I agree.
Just out of curiosity, I don't want to start no BS or nothing like that. Who was starting over you?
Katera.
Okay, so let's go on to the next subject. I'm like, oh, okay.
But
I mean, I've seen her play before, and I'm gonna leave it at that.
In the beginning, stuff that's out of my hands, so you know it is what it is. But I completely agree. I should have been drafted if things would have been completely different. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, well, she got to follow him to Texas, so that counts for something. All right, so you say you playing overseas now, right? Mm-hmm. All right, so what's that whole experience like, and how did it get kicked off?
Well, first of all, I still win WNBA. I just want drafted, but I went to Minnesota. But overseas, I started off in Israel my first 2 years, and then this past year I was in Spain. So I ain't gonna lie, I didn't appreciate Israel at first because I'm trying to go back. But I mean, it's a completely different experience only for the fact of like that distance. You're really far away from home. Like you're really, really far away. But I think like if you're not built mentally to be able to stand like that you're gonna be that far away, then it ain't for you. Cause I mean like, but the only thing I can say that like if Israel just gave you like a Christmas break, like you'll be fine. But we don't get that Christmas break. So like that's the only time I feel like it really hits you that you like over there and you're not with your family when it comes like Christmas. Because like Thanksgiving, you know, you didn't spend that with your family back home, like with college. But like that Christmas break, you'd be like, okay, yeah, I want to go home.
They don't give you Hanukkah break or nothing like that?
Nah. I mean, like for them, like, I mean, like we'll probably have like practice, I think, like early in the day just because of that whole, I'm not sorry, but because of Hanukkah. But like Christmas and stuff, they kind of look at you like, well, we don't celebrate that. So I mean,
well, look, you just skipped right over that. AJ, you was gonna let her do it too. She said, I went to WNBA.
I mean, she started talking about this. So
yeah, get on.
I mean, yeah,
tell her back to this WNBA.
Yeah.
Well, let's see. I went undrafted free agent to Minnesota my first year out, and then I went back that second year too. But first year, I actually did really, really good. I think they just didn't expect that out of me, just like I said, just because like they hadn't seen everything like from college wise. So I made it all the way to like the last cut, and we're gonna keep it honest. If Alexis Jones was the first round pick, I would have been on Minnesota team. But that first round draft, that first round, you automatically secure the spot. So it is what it is. So I mean, but they told me, like, stay on standby the whole season, that type of deal, like anything could happen. But then they ended up bringing me back that second year. So after my first year overseas, I ended up coming a little bit early for them because they had like a little small like mini camp because they were bringing in some other like, I guess, like free agent type people. And they wanted to see who all they could like bring in. So I went to that and I ended up staying up there. And it was total like 2 weeks or maybe like a week before. And we were in regular workouts like with them. So I was working out. I think it was like 3. So it was like me, Lindsay Whalen, I think it was Kaiser, and I'm gonna say Danielle Robinson. I ended up coming down on Kaiser's ankle. My ankle went, and yeah. So it was really a wrap for me after that. Like, and I knew, but it was just like, and that's the only thing I didn't like, because like Coach Reeves was like, I'm not gonna cut you because you hurt, and it's like, but you're gonna have to cut me because I'm hurt. You know what I'm saying? Like it is what it is. Like, so I rather just tell me that way instead of, But yeah, that kind of messed me up right there. So this past year I was in training camps. So the goal is to get back. I'm really trying to get the fever, y'all, because we have a whole reunion, all 3 of us, but it's in the works. So we just gonna say that.
We watching.
Yeah, they seem to like Mississippi State pretty well over there. All right, so if you could talk to yourself before you went to Mississippi State, if let's say that it was your senior year and Vic Schaefer calls you on the phone and you are who you are today, what do you say?
Yeah, I'm gonna be mad at me, but I don't think I'm going to Mississippi State. I ain't even gonna lie.
He mad at you?
I mean, I don't think I'm going. Like, and granted, probably reasons I didn't transfer in general was just because from my mom and teammates wise. So like that teammate bond is what honestly probably got most of us through college. Like, no lie, like we literally held each other down. But I probably wouldn't go to Mississippi State. Like I said, I would have took all my visits, to see other places, see what it's like. But I'm not even gonna lie to you, I probably wouldn't go to Mississippi State.
I mean, to be honest with you, listening to this whole interview, reading between the lines, I kind of already knew that, but I just wanted to confirm it. So, let me ask you this. Do you have a relationship with the people who are on the team right now, like the players who are on the team and the coach or the coaching staff or anything like that?
The new coaching staff?
Yeah, the new coaching staff and the girls who are on the team, like, the Rakia Jacksons and the Leah Matharus of the world.
To be honest, not really. I mean, like, because I didn't go back this past year, so, like, I didn't meet them. But, I mean, like, I know Jessica. I talked to Zaria. I knew Maya before, because Maya was basically there even when we were there. She was in 8th grade or something like that. So I know Maya from all the way back then. I'm trying to think of who else, because, like, everybody else is just, like, new. Like, and like I said, I didn't go back this past year, so, like, I didn't meet them or anything like that. But, no, I don't think I know the other people like that. And the coaching staff, like, Nikki, when she first came in, like, we congratulated her and everything like that. And I think she hit me on Twitter. When I went down there this past month from that the March little thing. So I guess she saw me from the little picture or whatever. And she hit me from there. But I haven't, like, physically talked to her or nothing like that, like, just yet. Like, we had a little bit, but it wasn't nothing. Like, I haven't seen her in person or anything like that.
Okay.
We got a question from the fans.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
I'm guessing Slim is asking. I guess he's asking in regards of you not going back. It says because of Vic.
Yeah. I mean, it's just because y'all. It's just been so much build up stuff, and it's just like I don't like being fake. So, he had a last straw for me like last year, and it was something. It was just like something petty, but I don't have to keep putting myself in that same environment. Like, I control my life. I'm gonna keep putting myself in that same situation. So no, I didn't go back. And like I said, I love everybody else in coaching staff. Like, I love everybody else, but I mean, like, I don't have no hate in my heart or anything like that. But like I said, I'm just not going to continuously put myself in the same situation for you to think you're not doing something, but you doing something. So.
You know what? I'm gonna go on ahead and say it, because everybody's thinking it and nobody said nothing. So me being the rebel that I am, I gotta go ahead and ask. Now, I personally say that I feel as though that Vic Schaefer is the Larry Brown of women's basketball, and that
who Larry Brown is.
She don't. Yeah, she's a little young, dog. She's a little young, dog.
Larry Brown was the coach of the Detroit Pistons back in the day, and his reputation was that he could take a group of average players and get them to play at a really high level. But if he had stars, he didn't know what to do with them. So, like, for instance, this year where you put Aaliyah Vitharu in for a couple of minutes and she scores like 11 points or something like that, and he benches her and then puts her in the last 30 seconds of the game and then want to be shocked when she commits a turnover when she get in. Then, you know, it felt like he wasn't getting everything out of Rakia Jackson. And I found myself thinking, like, you know, I wonder what they had these problems if they were at South Carolina. So what everybody really want to know, and you do not have to answer this if you don't want to, but what's your thoughts on Vic leaving Mississippi State out of the blue because he wanted to be with his family?
I don't know, y'all. To me, it don't make sense. Like, it literally didn't make sense. And to me, like, he has a private jet. Well, if it might not be his, but they be on the private jet all the time. So it's like the flight home isn't less than an hour. So I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, because
to me, like, you can't say it's money because State offered to match it and go higher. So I honestly don't know. I really don't know.
Because we like, you know, I'm not saying that we these big players in the Mississippi State sports media, but we hear things, you know, people send me random messages and stuff like that. And people were kind of insinuating that there was something going on, you know, maybe as far as player relationships are concerned, or maybe just beef with the, you know, people in the athletic department, but nobody really speak on it. So
I
you don't know nothing.
Like, now, to me, player relationships, you know, that is what it is. But I mean, like, stuff in the athletic department, I honestly don't know. Like I say, if I probably went back this past year, I probably would have some tea for y'all, but I really don't know. So I don't know what to tell you. I really don't know. Like, because when I seen it, I mean, I was shocked. The only thing that I just didn't like about it is because I feel like the players found out through social media. And I feel like that's not the way to handle it. And everybody claimed like that's not how it happened. But if you put the timeline together, they found out through social media. And to me, I'm like, that's not the right way to handle it. Like, because, like, to me, if that would have been us, like, we would have been butthurt too. But it's like, to me, because everything is such a social media like craze these days, it's like you could have simply like took the time to tell that man like, hey, don't post this for like an hour or two. You know what I'm saying? Like, give me enough time to talk to my players. Because I'm like, there's no way like you talked to your players before you did this. Because to me, it's like if you was down there constructing a deal and everything like that, I'm sure that took a couple hours. So at what point did you tell your players that you know you believe like? Yeah, okay.
Absolutely.
So hey, that's the only thing I do about it. But I mean, hey, each his own.
All right. So, Ken, anybody else got any compelling questions?
I'm not sure if there are any compelling questions.
All right. So let me ask you this. Did you get a chance to look at the graphic that I sent you earlier?
Yeah, but you're going to be mad at me because I don't know half them people. So I said,
what? Okay.
Hey, now look. I know. Okay, first picture is Rakia Torrey. Is that Mavongo person? I
don't know.
Like,
turn it around. Let's see it.
I don't.
With Torrey? Yeah, that's Makongo. That's Makongo.
Okay.
We probably messing their name up.
She ain't never been to campus, so I never saw her. I've never met her. I don't even know her game. The next one, that's Alexis Rack, Dominique, and Tierra.
Right.
I know Alexis was nice because I met her, but I don't know her game. But I'm still gonna say they lose. You ain't mad at me because Dom don't like the score, so they're not gonna win. Is this Morgan, Latoya, and is this supposed to be Martha?
I think it's Martha.
Okay, they got a chance. And then Chinwei, Tan White, and then I don't know who number 5 is.
That's another person from
that's Lamano. She was when Makongo played. They all came together. Lamano.
See, I don't know who that is. Like, I don't.
You knew who Latoya Thomas was, and
yeah, she came back and showed love. And Tan did too, but she was quiet. But I mean, love. I don't know these other. Like, Alexis came back, Latoya came back, and Tan came back. And of course, I played with Martha. But the number 5 girl and then the African girl, I'm sorry, I'm not gonna.
Yeah, but the two that you don't know, both of those are, like I said, both of those are Africans.
And they were on the Sweet 16 team before we got there.
Right.
He like, I don't know who they are though.
Well, McConnell got drafted and she's a center.
See, I believe it, but I just don't know.
All right,
I'm gonna be biased and I'm gonna give it to Morgan, Latoya, and Martha because I know them.
Okay, that's a step in the right direction. Also, Latoya Thomas, if you are watching this, shout out. This is her birthday. Okay.
Oh, happy birthday.
All right, and the last thing that I want to bring up is that me and you are birthday twins. I was born on August 4th, 1985.
Hey, birthday coming up.
Exactly. So we share the same birthday as Barack Hussein Obama, so we got the best birthday ever.
Right.
So, that is what it is.
That though, but hey.
It is what it is, you know what I'm saying? So, before we go ahead, get up out this thing, Ken, you got any last final thoughts?
Just last thing I'm gonna say is Bree, it's hard as a mother to get in touch with Tori. So tell her I said what's up. This is her cousin. Like I think she didn't change the number since the last time I had it. So just tell her I said what's up. And it's been a pleasure. This has been an awesome interview. Loved you. You being relaxed and having fun with us and being honest with us. So we'd love to have you back and love to have some of your teammates on. So anybody that you still fool with, tell them to holler at us. Okay. All right. Cool.
All right, and so you got anything that you want to say to all the people that's watching, Bulldog Nation?
Don't get me in trouble. I'm just kidding, but I appreciate y'all for having me. I did get to spill a little bit of tea, so I mean, hopefully we can do this again in the future with some more exciting stuff.
Absolutely.
Team,
Definitely. Definitely. If we have a women's season, we definitely need to have you on because I ain't gonna lie to you. You have been absolutely great. I mean, like
great.
You're one of the best guests that we have ever had because you came in and you kept it real. So So I mean, that brings us to the end of another edition of From the Dog's Mouth. I'm supposed to say something corny, but no, I'm drawing blanks. You know what I'm saying? So I think that when I get done, I got some crazy dope moves to make out in the streets, and probably go get me something to eat. Play Assassin's Creed Odyssey. I mean, it is what it is. Okay. Yeah, Mississippi State women's basketball. Normally, I would say praise the Lord and go Dogs, but since Coach Vic abandoned us, like my father when he went to go get some milk and never came back. My dad is still in my life. I just want to be clear, my dad is actually still in my life. Shout out to Arthur Hose Sr. So I mean, only thing I'm gonna say is, okay, bye.
Bye, y'all.